One of the coolest things about gaming right now is that you can game pretty much anywhere. You know, if you're at home, you have your console or your PC. If you're on the go, you're on a mobile device, you have your Steam Deck, you have your phone, and there are a whole bunch of different other devices that now will let you play games wherever you really want to. So it was really cool to see a company like Logitech jump into the fold, not only having seen all their wonderful devices that they have on the keyboard and mouse layer, but now they're jumping into gaming too, and I luckily have one of those devices right about here. Welcome to the cloud. The Logitech Cloud comes to the space in a really interesting time. I think for a company like this, who we expect on the kind of peripheral side to be as good as they've always been on the microphones and the headsets and the keyboards, it's really cool to see some of the innovations that they pulled over from a lot of the learnings that they've had on that side into a handheld device like this. It is a super lightweight, about a pound in total device that has 1080p 60 hertz on it. It's a touchscreen Android device. It comes loaded with all the stuff that you already need to kind of get yourself started on the cloud side of things. You have GeForce Now, you have Xbox Beta for the cloud device stuff there, you have Steam Link. So it really just tells you right from the beginning that, hey, we understand from a company perspective what services are the ones that people are really digging into, what are people using. So let's put all that into the device early on, right from jump. As soon as you boot it up, you already have those things ready for you to play. From a device standpoint, it feels really good. It feels really nice in the hand. One of the things that I've always talked about in terms of the Switch and the Steam Deck has been, you know, that analog, off-centered analog feel that is akin to what we've seen on the Xbox controller forever is on this device. The screen is huge. It's a nice 7-inch display. It really feels great in terms of being able to see it. It's super bright in terms of how vibrant it is. And it just does what it says it's going to do. It will get you into one of those gaming services pretty quickly. Setup was really fast. The most that it took in terms of getting things together is adding and remembering all the passwords that I had from whatever various services that I've been using to play cloud gaming over the past couple of years. And that was not that hard to get set up. It's just remembering where things were and then typing all those things in a real responsive way. I feel like the joysticks feel really good. The bumpers feel fantastic. The one thing that I would say from a hardware perspective is that the triggers feel a little squishy. I would want a little bit more pushback on some of those and on those parts of the device. But for the most part, really fantastic piece of gear. Bluetooth enabled, so you should be able to connect controllers to it. And it just does exactly what it's supposed to do. I think from a visual standpoint, the aesthetics are really pretty. I think it's a nice white with the yellow accents on the joysticks. It's kind of hard to see in this light, in the studio lights. But I think what they've done in terms of giving you a device that is comprehensive, makes sense, easy to handle, easy to go, gives you some expandable storage options too with a micro SD, even though it already has 64 gigabytes in it. You can use a USB-C cable to power it and to charge it up. It's a device that feels very much aligned with what we have expectations for when it comes to gaming devices like this. I've played a couple of different games on this. I was playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed Origins, and then also playing a little bit of Halo Infinite on the device. And I have to say, from everything that I've played on pretty much all the other cloud devices that I've had so far, both my phone and others, it gives you exactly about what you expect in terms of the capability of a machine like this. It's not going to be something where you shouldn't be comparing this to a Steam Deck. It's just different hardware in a way that is very different in what your expectations are going to wind up being for those kinds of devices. But I do think that in terms of what you should be using this for, this is a perfect give this to a younger sibling as a device if you don't want them touching your other stuff. This is also a fantastic thing if you don't want to have a bulky machine like a Steam Deck in your bag when you're traveling. This is perfect for the hotel situation, right? Where you're going to the hotel, you're like, I don't want to bring my big keyboard and mouse. I don't want to bring a rig. I don't want to bring a console, but I do have these cloud connected devices, and you wind up getting that extra tier of internet on the hotel plan. So far, I've had a blast with it. It feels fantastic. The sound on this thing is great. The speakers on this are really, really good. I was not expecting the sound to be as loud and as crisp as it is. And again, I have to say, like, the display on this thing is just so bright. It goes up to a brightness of 450 nits, which, again, if you're a person and nerd out about nits, you can knit out all you want. That's totally fine. But just from a visual perspective, totally super really good on terms of visibility in low light situations. Those things are fantastic. You get 12 hours of battery life. Again, it depends on how much you're using it, how much you're kind of chugging on it, playing on the cloud again. But I would have to say, like, if you're downloading things from the Google Play Store onto a device like this, that would be a really fantastic way to get your gaming in on this. And it feels like, again, if you tether this to a phone, if you want to play outside, or if you're just jumping on Wi-Fi that you can jump onto, your experience will vary with all cloud gaming. It's really dependent upon the network that you're on. But from a base standpoint of what this piece of gear can do, really impressed with where they can go with this. I think this as a first try at moving into a space that they were not really in before has me excited, because Logitech just has really fantastic quality on all the stuff that they make. I swear by them when it comes to my keyboard and mice and headsets. And now that they're moving in a space like this, where you have an Android device that you can play games on, it has a touchscreen, has gyroscopics, has haptics in it, fitting all of that in a device this light and small in terms of just like how thin this thing is. Like, this thing is thin. This thing is not a big, bulky piece of gear. This thing is extremely thin in what they're able to do. And this thing dissipates like no heat. I've not had any part of this feel hot at all. It's never felt warm. It doesn't feel like it's getting, extra hot in any way. And you can plug a normal headset into it and also do all the other things that we talked about a little bit earlier. I am, again, super excited for this. I'm hoping to see more folks get this into the space. We're going to talk a little bit more about it a little bit later once they have kind of shared more pricing and everything else about this. But I would say, just from an initial, how does it feel? Does it feel sturdy? Does it feel like it's made well and it's manufactured well? Like, again, Logitech does fantastic work in that respect all the time. I never have to worry about quality controls on any of that kind of stuff. So I would say definitely check this thing out when it comes to market. I think it's awesome to see more streamers like me get access to stuff like this early. There's going to be a bunch of coverage out today about the device, so make sure you're checking out some of the other folks who've gotten their hands on one of these bad boys. And I'll be talking more about this on the show proper as well, so make sure you're checking out Spawn on Me wherever you may go. Make sure you're checking out the podcast, because I'll be talking a little bit more about this on an upcoming episode. So massive love to our friends over at Logitech G for sending this over. And again, this is really cool where we're at in terms of the gaming space. We get a chance to play stuff all the time in wherever we want. And it's kind of great that now we have all these devices that actually enable us to do it. So much love to our friends over at Logitech. Go check out the cloud device. It is really, really dope. And we'll see you with more conversations like these on Spawn and Me in a future date. Much love. Peace.